Hi, I'm Alec Davis and welcome to Mediator Academy's online courses. Today's course is an introduction to mediation law and is taught by Professor Nadja Alexander. Nadja, welcome.
Thank you. Nice to be here, Alec, as usual.
Nadja, could you say a little bit more about the course?
Some people say that mediation law is an oxymoron, that the words mediation and law don't belong together because mediation is supposed to be an alternative to the courts. Well, mediation is an alternative to the courts, but that doesn't mean that law is irrelevant. And in fact, I think in this course, what I'm going to show you is that mediation is always surrounded by law. It operates in the shadow of the law, and law always plays a part in mediation. In fact, even if a country doesn't deliberately regulate about mediation, you still have mediation law. You can't not regulate. So there's been regulation and laws about mediation ever since the first professional mediation took place, whether it's the general law of contract, which is interpreting an agreement to mediate, or whether it's a specific piece of mediation legislation or the rules of the ICC on mediation. There's always been mediation. Mediation law is sometimes hard to find. It's not always located in the right place. So what I'm going to do in this course is help you be able to identify mediation law in an easy and structured way, both in your own country and in any country or jurisdiction you choose. And I think it's really important, not just for your own jurisdiction, but also if, say, you're a lawyer in England and all of a sudden you have a file and you've got a mediation clause which says the applicable law is the law of Singapore. You then have to pretty quickly get a handle on what is the mediation law of Singapore, right? And how do you do that? Well, that's exactly what we're going to look at in this course.
Okay. And what else can we expect to learn from this course today?
Well, in terms of learning objectives, I think one of the first things you're going to learn is why and how law is important in mediation. You're going to learn the difference between law in mediation and the law of mediation, and that's a really fundamental distinction. Mm-hmm. You're going to learn to identify 4 categories of mediation law, and also learn to identify the different regulatory forms that you typically find in mediation. And finally, you're going to have the tools by the end of this course to analyse and examine in a very structured way the mediation law of any jurisdiction.
Brilliant. Sounds great. Can't wait to get started.
Well, I'm excited.
And who is this aimed at? I mean, if you were to think about the kinds of people, mediators, users, who would be interested in this course?
Well, I think a range of people. I mean, definitely lawyers, but also policymakers, people involved in making mediation law, judges, anyone who needs to apply mediation law or find mediation law, and all sorts of users of mediation, right? If you're a party, a commercial party or another party wanting to find out, for example, what your obligations are in the mediation, this is useful for you as well. So anyone really wanting to engage with the mediation process, you don't have to be a lawyer. But if you want to engage with mediation, I think it's important to really understand what your rights are and what your obligations are in relation to the process.
Okay, great.